make contact. Okay, so we'll go one at a time. So you can lead off. Just push yourself towards this target. Like prep step, push. Good. Go again. Go. Give me about 60 to 75% speed. Right. So we're actually pushing. We're actually popping up off the ground. Okay. Now, first thing I want you to notice. Start again. I want you to notice the path of your steps. Right. So your first step is going out to your left, and then you're bringing everything back out this way. Right. I want you to push down this line. So step down this line. There you go. Now push down. Good. Okay. Do it one more time. Now this time, just try to pop off the ground. All right. Now, did you feel a difference between that one and the one a couple times ago?
Yeah.
What was the difference?
It was less energy going.
Less energy, and it just feels easier, right? So it's the same amount of effort, same amount of energy, but we're getting more production without as much stress, right? That's the idea. We're being more efficient, right? Efficiency is what we want, right? I didn't really talk about the mindset or the kind of like what you should be thinking about or feeling when you're jumping, but that goes a long ways into it, right? Same way that we don't want to be tense when we're throwing a pass, right? Or throwing a punch or doing whatever, right? If we're trying to be explosive, being tense isn't where it's at, right? Being relaxed is where it's at. Being able to feel like we're jumping effortlessly is where you're gonna have your best jumps, right? If you're going through your jumps and you feel like you're trying really hard, those are not effective jumps. I promise you. The best jump you're ever gonna have in your life is gonna feel like you didn't even try, right? You're doing all your work back here, you're being explosive with it, but once we get here, we're just popping up off the ground, right? Everything's relaxed. So I do want that, like when we're doing these drills, I want you to think about, first, when you're doing them slow, you think about the position, you think about where your foot is, you think about where all of that is, right? When we start bringing speed into it, I want you to think about, did I pop up off the ground? Did it feel effortless, right? Did I feel explosive? Those are the three questions I want you to ask, right? When we start doing things with speed. Let all the slow drills be where you are, okay? All right, so scoot over this way a little bit so you can be kind of pointing down towards this line. Let's see where we're going. Okay. I go going back now, we'll see it a little more together. Good. Now, give me an actual push from there. So I want you to think about like if you were actually trying to jump. Very good. Now, good posture at the end. Felt yourself pop straight up, right? I feel like we're leading a little bit with the shoulders through that push. Right? So through that prep step, I want you to think about getting yourself down, keeping that chest up, and from here, once you are going forward, that's the thing that we're trying to do. We're trying to go forward, right? So lock in your chest here, push out in front of you. Okay, try one more time. Now, you feel that right foot contact, you kind of got in a little bit closer to the hip, and then this leg ended up being out in front, right? What I want you to do is I want you to make sure you're extending this right leg out in front. All right, so we're getting that heel out in front of where we're going, and we're extending that leg out. That's good. It's a lot to think about. All right. Good. Now, you're extending that leg out, but you're extending it out in front of the right side. Right? What I want you to do is I want to get it out in front of the middle, in front of the line where we're going. Right? So I want that right heel to be pointing out in front of you towards this horizontal. There you go. How'd that feel? That feel better? Mm-hmm. That looks a lot better. Good. Let's do another one of those. Good. More efficient, smoother. Good. One more time. Good. And I want you to do one more time. I want you to think about your toes. Right. So heels down that line. I want your toes pointed towards the corner of the wall right here. Okay. Good. There you go. A little more efficient. All right. Good. So now I want you to feel what that feels like. Right. How it feels smoother. How it feels easier to jump. When you're doing your drills, you're focusing on trying to replicate that and make it even smoother. Okay. Good. Let's actually switch spots so you have a little more room. I'm going to switch down the middle here.
Oh. I guess I do start with that foot. Oh, good grief.
So you're going left foot last. Okay, back in. I want to see. slow it down.
That's why we're here.
So this is perfectly normal for anything to feel awkward, right? So I always equate back to like basketball, right? Because that's what I did. But imagine there's something you can.
She plays basketball too.
So think about basketball, right? So when you're a kid, you're obviously shooting, you're throwing the ball up from your hip. You know, you're not strong enough to shoot it. You're throwing it up there, right? When it comes time to actually play, now somebody at some point is going to try to teach you how to shoot better, right? So it's going to be trying to get the elbow underneath the ball, pushing up through the ball with your elbow, shooting with one hand, like all these sort of things that you're not big enough or strong enough to do in those, right? In doing so, it feels tough. It feels awkward. It feels new. You probably miss more times than you were before, right? That's perfectly normal. It's part of the process, right? So it's okay for it to feel awkward. It's okay to like stumble on your feet a little bit because we're thinking about what we should be doing. That's normal, right? It's normal even for you to try it for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, and to maybe not feel as great about it, right? Because it's slower, it doesn't make sense yet. It's gonna click. When it clicks, it's just like shooting a basketball, right? If I take out all the variables of how I can not shoot it straight, right? If I can just get my hand underneath the ball, push my elbow up through the ball, make sure that I'm pointing my index and ring finger towards my target, the ball's gonna go straight. Then it's just a matter of like, is it long or short? I took out all the variables and missing left or right. We're doing the same thing here, right? Once it clicks, you're gonna have a much more efficient thing. So all it is just about how much power am I bringing, how much speed am I bringing in, where's my posture, right? Once I do those two things, like I can have great jumps over and over and over. Okay? So don't be discouraged by feeling tough to start with. All right, so first thing we're doing, we're gonna go a step to your left. Okay? So we're gonna start with our weight on our right side. Right? Weights on the right foot. We're gonna step out to your left, right? When I step out to your left, I want you to drop your hips, get your chest up. Feel how far that step is. I want that step to be more about 6 inches back. There you go. Good. Now, where's our target? Right. So I want my toes going towards that target. Okay. Right. Back it up. Do that same thing. Step down. Good. So we're bringing it in just a little bit. Right there. Good. Now hips are down, hands are up, chest is back. Good. Do it. Good. Just like that. Let's do 3 more. Good. That's perfect. Make sure your toes are going towards your target. Good. Okay. Now, next thing I want you to do is.
Can I ask you, is the target to the left or is it straight?
We're just making this like a midline.
So her toes are going to go straight.
Yeah, her toes are going to go straight. There you go. Okay. So now do the same thing. Now we're going to add in the push. Okay. All right. So you feel like now we took a bigger step with that left foot.
Yeah.
It became harder to push. Right. I want you to take a smaller step with that left foot. Small step with the first one, big step with the next one. Good. Now do that again. Now when you push out, I just want you to think about popping out the ground a little bit. Okay. So actually, like go through it.
Oh, all right. Whoop.
Okay, so when we took the first one, we went from when we were practicing and doing slow, dropping the hips down, getting the chest up. So now that we're trying to speed it up, the first thing we did was keep our hips up. Right, so we're stepping that foot out, but we're not setting the body. Right, so this is the prep. The prep is about where the hips are, chest is, and hands are. Right, so this is the important part. Hands up, chest up, butt down. Okay.
Like a mini lunge?
Yeah, kind of like a mini lunge. Okay, back again. I want you to get a little bit lower on that step. Think about it like a mini lunge, like you're getting the knee underneath, or you're getting the foot underneath the knee. There you go, good, just like that. Do that again, then from the rest of it, just think about just jumping. Okay, good. So that's your left foot. All right, good. Heel, okay, go again. Okay, so now I want you to think about what's happening with this contact here. Okay, when we get through this contact here, we're gonna get that heel out in front of the body, toes turned out, think like 10 o'clock. Okay? Good. Our hips are just way too high.
Yeah.
Okay? You feel how, if you try to jump from there, you wouldn't get up high off the ground, right? Because we're so close to here already that we don't have enough time to produce any power. Right? I need you to get those hips down low and keep them there. Good. Now, the other thing I want you to notice is how every single one of your steps is kind of like down a tightrope. Okay? Go back to the beginning. Your first step is going to be out in front of the left hip. Okay? Second step, right, that's the one that goes down the tightrope, down the middle of the body. Okay? Then the left comes back through, right on that left side of it. So it's not getting through, it's not getting all the way in front of the right foot, it's getting through in front of the ball of the foot, in front of the left hip. That's better. Good. Now you feel how, where's your ball of the foot? Right? That's almost all the way on your left side, on your right side of the body, right? I want this ball of the foot contact to be more here. So bring it all the way back, bring the foot back a little bit, right there. Now sink back. So, keep that foot where it is. There, now sink your hips back.
Oh.
Doesn't that feel stronger?
Mhm.
That's what we're looking for right there. Okay? Try that again. Good. Now, look at your weight distribution. See how we're all the way forward in front of this foot? I want you to feel when this foot makes contact, I want you to feel like all your weight is on the front foot. Right? When I actually make contact here, I should be able to pick this leg up off the ground. Okay, try that. Keep that weight back. So same thing. Now feel where your body is, right? You feel like you're in between both feet already.
Mhm.
Shift your hips back. So it's like shift them all the way back. Yeah, now you're gonna have to bring that foot way back, right? There you go. Now weights all the way back. Bring the hips back, shoulders back. Turn your shoulder back this way. Sink your hips back. There you go. Now you feel more of your weights on this leg.
Mhm.
Right, now just push through the ball of your foot here. Now you feel your weight's kind of shifted this way. I want more weight to shift back. Right, so that means we've got to bring that foot back. Bring that foot back. You go now, sink your hips down. Now you feel all your weight's on your back left.
Mhm.
Can you pick up that other leg? Right? So if I have to lean back in order to pick it up, that means I'm probably a little bit too forward. Right? So I want to be able to make this contact and just be able to pick this leg up. So all my weight's on the back leg. I'm doing this shit, okay? Try that. That's better. Now just once you get through here, make contact through the ball of the foot there. So be aggressive. Now, do you feel how we're in this line again?
Mhm.
Right? Thigh bone meets the hip bone right here. That's the line that my ball of the foot needs to be on. There you go. Good. Now, back. Good. That foot's probably going to be a slightly further back too. Good. Now sink back. Sink your hips down. All right. Get your. Doesn't that feel like a stronger, kind of more athletic position?
Mhm.
We're gonna try it. Good. Now you feel how the hips kind of went up and down.
Mhm.
Do it again. Just think about pushing forward. Good. Now feel the weight. Right. Where's your weight distribution? And in between both feet, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the thing that I want you to work on when you're doing the drills. Slow motion, I want you to work on keeping the weight back on that backside, right? So on your plant leg. So for you, that's going to be your right foot. We're keeping the weight back over that right foot. Okay. When you go faster, now I want you to look at two things, right? So one is going to be keep your heel on your plant leg. So on your right side, I want to keep your heel on the line, and then I want to make sure the ball of the foot doesn't cross that line.
Do you have your foot on the back, the weight on the back foot, because then you'll be able to have momentum going forward and use that?
No, the idea of keeping the weight on the back foot is so that as my body continues, because my body's going to continuously move forward, right? So if I'm making contact and I'm already split, I'm already in between both feet. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so now as my body continues to move forward, as I begin to extend, now it ends up putting more weight on the front leg. So this becomes more of a like a pusher versus being the block that's keeping my body from going forward. Right?
I
So
see.
I want this
It
foot,
slows you down, kind
I
of.
want this foot to, its only job is to keep my hips from shooting forward. Right, so when this foot makes contact, if it's out in front of the body, my weight's on the backside. One is pushing at a sharper angle back into my hips, but two, it allows, as I get into extension, now I can push off both legs and leave the ground on both legs. So this is gonna this is the one that's kind of pushing down to the ground and creating the force. This one is more like I think a pull that's redirecting the hips. It's just a slight difference in terms of like how you have to think about each leg. Go ahead and take a second.